Hello and welcome to Shambhala Mountain Center's second annual Awake in the World Conference. We are thrilled and excited to be able to welcome now over 23,000 of you all over the world to participate in these 5 days of incredible teachings from amazing teachers. And not just to listen to the teachings, but to form a community to hear them and study them together.
It's actually really impressive what Shambhala Mountain Center has been able to do in terms of putting together, in my mind, like the dream team of not just meditation teachers, but also experts in various fields, people who really understand the effects of mindfulness in day-to-day living. So the idea of an Awake in the World conference, something that is not just about, hey, let's go meditate, but about how do we apply this to our everyday life is amazing. So we should probably introduce ourselves.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. And P.S., I totally agree with what you just said.
Okay.
And I'm super excited. And I am Susan Piver. I am founder of the Open Heart Project, the online mindfulness community that I'm madly in love with, and also author of the new book, Start Here Now, an open-hearted guide to the path and practice of meditation.
And I'm Lodro Rinzler, who's going to embarrass Susan by saying that's a really good book and everyone should check it out.
Look at this guy.
My name is Lodro Rinzler. I am a teacher in the Shambhala Buddhist tradition, and I'm a founder of this space that we are sitting in that is opening tomorrow, which is mind-boggling. This is known as Mindful, which is a meditation studio in New York City. It's the premier meditation studio. Just drop in 30 and 45-minute classes from a wide variety of expert teachers in Buddhist, Vedic, Kundalini, Jewish, MBSR, all sorts of different styles of meditation, all experts in their own fields. Another sort of dream team here in New York City. So if you're ever in New York, come visit us here with our beautiful plant wall.
So fantastic. And it's really exciting. It really is. I mean, it's a meditation studio, just like a yoga studio.
Yeah, but for meditation. It's meditation university, where people get to try different classes, then go deep somewhere.
Just like with Awake in the World.
Just like with Awake in the World.
Kind of like a super condensed, totally full on, 5 days, 40 plus teachers, talking about applying like mindfulness practice, certainly, but also how to apply mindfulness, as Lodro was saying, in all areas of your life. It's really wonderful that you're here, and they should comment, right? They should.
Yes. So if you guys are watching live, I believe you can actually comment down at the bottom of the screen, and you can either log in through Facebook or other means, and we can actually engage with you. And as Susan said earlier, I think it's wonderful to watch a lot of videos, and it's a whole other thing to say, I'm going to participate in this community. And that's really, for me, the juice of it. And Susan and I have experimented with online communities before, and Susan's actively involved with the Open Heart Project, which is an amazing community, amazing Sangha. And it adds real flavor when you say, here's my experience of what it means to be awake in the world. Here's my experience of what it means to show up at work with all of my crazy coworkers who are slandering each other and gossiping all the time, and try and manifest my meditation practice. Here's what it means to me when I'm in a fight with my spouse, or I'm out to dinner with my spouse, and I'm trying to be fully present with her, or him, or them. Thank you. And we have so many different topics. So there's awake at work and relationships. There's a whole social action component, which I really appreciate Shambhala Mountain Center doing. The whole social justice angle of how do we apply the teaching so it's not just about me and my world, but how do I benefit the world overall? And you've met and hosted a number of people. What's the one that you're most excited about? Am I getting in trouble by asking?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm excited about all of them.
Okay,
but first,
good.
let me just say, go down to the bottom of this page right now in comments if you want, and just introduce yourself. Just get the whole community thing started. Just your name, where you're from. That would be great. And I will mention, I love talking to all the people I spoken to. So thank you, all the people I spoke to for this event. But I'm super excited about my interview with Josh Barron.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Who is not a Dharma teacher in the classical sense. So maybe he has one book, but maybe if you're not aware of who he is, that is understandable, because he has been Mr. Behind the Scenes, helping to bring awareness of mindfulness into our culture probably for the last 30 years. And he has this huge perspective on what it means when East meets West, how to tell authentic from inauthentic, and just has this wonderful mix of spiritual, deep spiritual view that is impeccable, and also a sense of how to bring all of this into the marketplace with a sense that is also impeccable. It's very unusual and totally cool, and it was a fun conversation. How about you?
I also enjoyed a lot of them. I would say it's a toss-up for me between my conversation with Rick Hansen, because I understand nothing of the neurological implications of meditation whatsoever. And I had to keep being like, Rick, talk to me like I'm a fifth grader, you know, like break it down for me. And he's so amazingly articulate and accessible in that way.
That's fantastic.
And then Dev Aujla, who is a longtime friend of mine, and every time he and I try and do something, either like a talk or an event together, or in this case, an interview, there's very little barrier between that and what we would talk about if we were out to dinner or at a bar together or something like that. And it's just this aspect of like, what does it mean to live with purpose?
That's wonderful.
And what does it mean to like have meaningful work? He's someone who wrote this book called Making Good, which is literally about how do you do good in the world and make money. And it's just one of those minds. I just love the way that he thinks.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's pretty good.
I'd like to read it right
I
now.
feel like as you guys go through the Awake in the World videos, you're gonna be like, I should read that.
Right.
Maybe
we encourage you to do.
Yeah, we encourage you to do, starting with Start Sharing Now.
So tell me, why do you think, oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
What does it mean to you? What does Awake in the World mean to you? And when you heard about this event, like what came to mind, and what do you hope people will get from this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a funny thing because we're launching this thing called Mindful. All these people who are brand new to meditation, the sort of people that would never try meditation before in a million years, they come in and they're like, so what's the benefit of this thing? And I can say, hey, listen, you know, there's all this science around it. You get more increased gray matter in your hippocampus, so it means you're less stressed out, and it means you've got better focus and better memory. But for me personally, to answer your question more directly, it's about showing up fully for all of my day-to-day interactions in an authentic and genuine way. I feel like that's what my meditation practice has done for me over time. And to be able to say, oh, here's 5 days where we just talk about how do we show up authentically in various aspects of our life, that's what really appealed to me. Yeah. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's huge. It really is. Very similar. The word authentic comes to my mind too. And you know, it's a nutty world out there. And when someone says, oh, you should be awake in the world, or you should have an open heart, or you should, you know, be compassionate, that may sound good, but the idea of doing it is actually terrifying, because it's a beautiful world and it's a chaotic, crazy world. And the idea of just opening yourself to it completely is scary, but also, you know, what is the choice? What are you going to do? Just remain asleep? But if you want to try to be awake, whatever that means, because it means something different to everyone, I think. So it's not one size fits all. What I have found over and over again, and one of many reasons why I love teaching online and why I'm so happy a place like Mindful exists and Awake in the World is happening, is because the main thing that we all need to be awake is each other. We need some sense of community, of sangha, some support. Even if you go into one of your beautiful meditation rooms over there and you never talk to anybody, there's still the sense of there's other people here who are trying to work with their minds. So that's the one of two things that I think is absolutely essential to support your journey of awakenment, as our teacher says. And the other thing is what I would call a path quality. Some sense that your practice is going somewhere. Not that you start over every single time you sit, which in one sense we do, but that there's some sense of understanding of the journey that's unfolding. And the 40 plus teachers that are going to be giving talks.
Are there 40 plus teachers?
40 plus. I talked to Kaylee about that before we started. Maybe they're making up crazy numbers, but no,
that's amazing.
It's over 40. It is.
Okay.
They can help impart that sense of understanding and view of the principles behind the journey that is of utmost importance. And without each other and without teachers, it's very hard to figure out how to be awake. That's my experience.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the community, as you said, of like-minded people that are, and like-minded is really like wanting to wake up, wanting to deal with some of their own suffering and the suffering of the world. It's really profound. And then the last part that you just said, the teachers, that some people might sit here and say, oh, I'm watching a bunch of videos, I'm in my own home. But if you actually engage the community and you actually talk about the teachers and you learn from the teachers, it's a real sangha, it's a real community feeling. Like it doesn't have to be anything other than an actual meditation space. And I know you're very good at explaining like how people can set up a meditation space. I find for me personally, when I'm watching videos like this, it's helpful to have a specific scenery setting. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like me listening on my phone on my morning commute on the subway. Do you have any advice for anyone that might want to like create a container for these teachings?
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Thank you for asking. I think it would be nice to just figure out if you can listen in a place that is kind of quiet. And if you can, even more than what you set up around yourself, like if you have flowers or a picture of someone or something you love, that's all great. But if you start by sort of relaxing, which means sort of flashing on open space, letting go of all your hopes and fears, even if it's just for a moment, before you listen to any of these teachings, any of these talks, if you bring a sense of spaciousness and openness to what you hear, that will be the best way of creating the right space to hear most deeply. Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's about right. I really do. For me, there's the added element of like, if I have a laptop, I can take it and put it somewhere other than where I normally work.
That's a good idea.
And I do a lot of like meditation where people invite me into like their corporate setting. I'm like, well, we're just sitting down at the same corporate boardroom desk that you guys do a lot of work and there's a lot of like tension. Uh-huh. Maybe we can do a different setting. So in the same way in our own home, if we can like move the laptop somewhere, maybe even to the living room, so that's a natural space of relaxation, but anywhere, as Susan said, that's a little bit quiet, so that you can really connect and not get too distracted. The other part that I would mention, because it is for many people on their computer, is to not have other tabs open.
Yeah, right.
Like if you have like your Facebook Awake in the World tab and then your like Gmail tab, and you get like increasing number of email that's stressing you out as you're trying to relax and meditate with someone, is probably pretty hard. Yeah. So creating that sort of container on your computer is helpful.
Yeah, and you could turn off your cell phone.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a big one. That would be like, and do it with like a sort of sense of ceremonial flair, as it were. Like I hereby disconnect from all conventional concerns in order to hear something beyond that. And I also want to just give a shout out to lurkers, because it's great to comment and it's wonderful to connect with the teachers. And at the same time, if you are shy or you just would rather not, you can still connect with community, not through comments necessarily, but just by giving your attention to the comments that are being made or the teachers that are speaking, and sending out your good wishes. You can connect in that way. And so as a lurker myself, I wanted to just give a shout.
You're just shy.
I am, actually.
The world's most extroverted introvert.
That's right.
And if you have to miss some stuff, my understanding is that there's also a resource package that you can get through Shambhala Mountain Center, so you can go back over the videos over time. And Shambhala Mountain Center is a 501c3, so you know that the money is going to supporting future projects like this. And I mean, it's a really beautiful labor of love on behalf of the team that put this together. Mm-hmm. And I really want to give them a big shout out and a big thank you for, think about it, reaching 23,000 people and offering them the Dharma. It's phenomenal.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. So thank you all for putting this together, and thank you to the 40 plus teachers that volunteer their time to be here with us and practice with us and guide us in exercises.
And the 23,000 plus of you, which is an amazing, amazing number. And this event, actually, I want to just be clear, it starts now. So as soon as our welcome is over, all the videos for day one or evening one, depending on where you are, will be available immediately once our welcome to you is closed. So I know
Including, did you interview Krista
Tippett, y'all.
So that's in there, and then Charlie Admiral Bell's doing a talk. There's all sorts of amazing stuff in this first day alone. So do it all if you can. Like, just try and clear the time during these few days and connect with everyone and share your heart.
It's a rare opportunity, and I'm very happy. And I know I speak for Lodro and the whole Awaken the World team when I say how happy we are that you decided to give yourself this gift. And it is rare to be able to study the Dharma or seek, be invited to seek your own wisdom in this sort of focused and concerted way. So please, I know everybody's busy and has lots of responsibilities, but take advantage of it as best you can. And I believe all the recordings are available for 48 hours once they post. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. And then if you can't watch then, as Lodro says, there's a way to access the material once the event is over, but we hope you can participate live as much as possible.
So thank you for being with us, and thank you for hanging out.
Is there anything else we should mention? Any other housekeeping?
I think we're good.
Okay, good. Thank you. And we wish you all the blessings of these teachings.
Yeah. Take care.